Block 3.
All right.
Okay. So the question is, who can actually solve this? Okay, so this is, rolling into the finale as such.
Yeah.
So what exists today and how it might fall short. So the context is, right, ERP systems, SAP, Oracle, Workday, automate operations, but were never designed for financial intelligence at the transaction level.
Mm-hmm.
They see the process, they don't see the anomaly.
Mm-hmm.
GPO-owned analytics platforms, be it Divisian Analytics, Premier Pink AI, operate on data the GPO itself controls.
Mm-hmm.
The conflict of interest is architecture. A platform cannot objectively assess the quality of the contract it negotiated itself.
Mm-hmm.
Traditional audit, retrospective sample-based, expensive, also legacy-based. But by the time it services a discrepancy, the money is already gone.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you had to go back and recover it, you're never guaranteed that you're recovering everything because it's sampling, or it might be some form of simplicity of machine learning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the question is how to actually try and change the picture as such. Is the future with domain-specific AI platforms that operate above the GPO ecosystem, not inside it? So the question is, Bill, what innovations do you see emerging that could genuinely address the blind spots and efficiencies we've been discussing? Mm-hmm. And in your view, what are the critical enablers that would allow a vendor to solve this problem at scale and at real time?
Yeah, I don't know that I view the solution by the vendor community, just to leave off where you started, and I should say maybe the supplier or OEM side. I would encourage providers on this topic to be very bold in their asks of who their working partners are. I'm not holding my breath that the national GPOs will get in and have high integrity around finding these sorts of price discrepancies. So I really look for that orchestration layer that you're referencing with newer technology companies that are coming in. And I would divide that up into two parts. And this is not a Hunter AI plug, but definitely you're seeing traction within real AI companies. And I'll emphasize the real and asterisks that have the ability to go in and pull out the data and to be able to go in and do the comparisons and the auditing that's needed. And I think that this is getting real results, and I think we're going to see this like wildfire across provider adoption. I think the other side that I'm looking for are the spend specialists that exist today, those that have a legacy SaaS, and you can look across areas that need a lot of savings, like purchase services, as we had discussed, lab, pharmacy, capital equipment, a lot of this indirect areas that people will reference, but in partnership with those specialty companies that are owning software workflow today, they can do a better job of helping to pull in new tech on helping with the pricing audits. So that's where I see a great opportunity, not so much from the ERPs either.
But even with regards to, like you say, legacy tech, so I'm going to challenge you here a little bit.
Please.
When I look at it from a perspective of legacy tech, SaaS-based companies, they still actually have the number one problem statement that whatever they've captured will be in natural language. And then the ability to then write code on top of that new SaaS-based old architecture to actually extract that information and then integrate it out there is a key problem. So I'm just saying.
Yeah. No, I get where you're going. I think that there's a marriage there. I think that again, in where we're going, I would be looking for the providers to lean into these specialists because they have the ownership and they have the current data today, but they're not fully. I think that there's an opportunity to be able to lean into new technology in order to get this sort of auditing that's done. So in a perfect world, for me, it's kind of taking the new specialist AI and these SaaS, not so much because of their SaaS, but because of their expertise. And you have a blend of those by spend category. I think you're going to see a lot of discoverables
Okay.
within that process.
So put on your private equity lens, executive in
Yeah.
residence,
Yes,
right?
yes. Yeah.
Give us a view of, let's say, the thinking out there of what you look for, inside, potential investments. Because, at the end of the day, private equity, looks at an organization that might be running $50
Yep.
million in revenue.
Yep.
So the multiples on top of that would be huge. So then as a private equity, the, let's say, exit strategy has got to be quite huge.
Yeah, so it's a very timely topic. We were just hotly debating this yesterday, but we look at a lot of mid-sized companies today that have great expertise and ownership within health systems, but they're not leveraging the best of technology now. And from a partnership standpoint, to be able to come in and help the leadership there with their customers specifically, but pulling in the newer technologies. So that way you are seeing that sort of marriage that we talked about. So we see that having a big opportunity. We also see a lot of merger opportunity too. So there's parts of the supply chain or parts of purchase services that are too fragmented in ownership. And the combination to pull together more of the process with that ownership, that's also where we're looking at opportunities.
So are you then creating let's say, a services component and an integrator component on top of it to provide the, let's say, the end result? Is that the sort of thinking?
Yeah, I think we can be interested in the services component. It's more. It definitely comes with a tech lens that we're looking into these. And so whether that's legacy that could improve by more modern technology or taking the expertise of the services, I should restate that, it would be leaning into services, not like advisory services, but things that are more asset in real life. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bill.
Thanks, Jeff.
Brilliant. Okay, Jeremy, welcome back. It's block 3.
All right.
Okay, so we got all the context with regards to understanding the problem statement, but really, big question is, who can actually solve this? So the context, what exists today and why it falls short. The ERP systems, SAP, Oracle, Workday, automates operations, but were never designed for financial intelligence at the transaction level. They see the process, but they don't see the anomaly. They might restrict it, but they don't see it. GPO-owned analytics platforms, Vision Analytics, Premier Pink AI, operate on data the GPO itself controls. The conflict of interest is architectural. A platform cannot objectively assess the quality of a contract it negotiated itself. Traditional audit, retrospective, sample-based, expensive. By the time it surfaces a discrepancy, the money is already gone. Okay. So we're trying to actually change the picture here because, is the future with domain-specific AI platforms that operate above the GPO ecosystem, not inside it? So the question is for you, does that picture resonate from where you operationally sit, and what would a structurally meaningful solution actually need to look like to make a difference at the hospital level?
Of making sense of all the pricing and the data issues.
Knowing that your ERP vendors here,
Yeah.
you probably deploy consulting companies to actually help you there, and then you've got your GPO analytics. So you've got 1, 2, 3 layers here. Now, if you've got to try to put on top of that a new application, etc., what do you see?
What do I see that can help? I think the first thing people need to invest in is data cleansing tools, because the data even the GPO has, the GPO needs to cleanse some of their data as well. So when you think, we talk about item masters, things like that, that transactional data isn't as clean as it should be.
Yeah.
And if it's not clean, automating doesn't have the returns you want to have on it. So I think a lot of people try to like skip right to like, let me get the fancy automations, right? And some of those, and we talked about it before, there is elements where it can, data that's disparate, it can start connecting and figuring that out. It can help clean your data. But I think that is a big aspect first. You got to do that. But then I do think having the value of having something over the top that's starting to look at everything, I think there's value in bringing together both. Essentially, I think what's missing still is that whole, what I talked about, capturing what you're missing. Like, did things shift, right? Like, have you saved, because we say it all the time in supply chain, I negotiated this contract, I have saved $10 million. But did you? Because did things shift in that contract? Did you really did utilization change? Did your price points stick the way you're supposed to?
Yep.
And did you overpay? All those types of things. Doing that very quickly and making sure you're paying what you should and making sure you're getting the value out of the contract you're supposed to. And if things are shifting from a utilization standpoint, you're capturing that early and having those conversations.
Yeah,
But
but
I
you're
think that's
going
huge
across.
value.
But you're going across those three systems, right? What
Yes.
the GPO is saying, what your
Yes,
ERP is
correct.
actually producing,
Yes.
and then someone comes along and does an
Yes.
audit with regards to saying, yes, you are compliant with the contract.
Yes, agreed. And I think the other value that is out there that's not being tapped into
Yeah.
is GPOs. When you start thinking of the overall, all of it, right? It's hospitals, GPOs. We don't just have spend and utilization data. We have quality outcomes data.
So what do you mean, to give the audience a little bit more of a view of that quality?
So quality outcomes, like how well does patients recover? How are they treated? Does it affect their illness? Does it keep them from coming back to the hospital? Does it reduce complications? All those data points.
So layering that on top of a 1, 2, 3 that we just talked
Because
about.
then you start getting a picture, which I think could help. This will help not only health systems, but the overall industry. What's actually making a difference in the patient care, right? Like, not, sure, that's a better price point. There might be a higher price point. Sometimes there could be because there's innovative technology. But is it actually leading to better outcomes that lower overall costs and improve overall health for the population? Where then health systems have more targeted, they have more targeted data and saying this is what's making a difference. Manufacturers, we can then be forced into, like, instead of Me Too products, develop things that are actually making a difference.
Right.
That data is all there. We're not leveraging it to improve our intelligence on how we spend our money and how we invest our money from the manufacturer side. I think it's there, we're just not using it.
That's a huge topic, right? Because I can
It
just
is.
imagine that Epic, with regards to what they are doing, from
Yes.
their side versus obviously now that they're tapped into the ERP with regards to Tapestry, and then now you're saying, let's layer over
Right.
another set of information that's going there.
Yes, and GPOs have similar. They're getting data feeds, and a lot of them are getting that quality data as well. So there's a competition where I think that needs to switch in that mindset.
But then, just a big question, for me. How's that going to come together inside the hospital system? Because yes, we understand that, and yes, there are players out there that are trying to do what you're talking about. But how does that really play out for you in implementing, discovering, and then running with it?
How does it play out for, obviously data is power. So I think health systems, people in my seat, we're looking for solutions now to help us improve that feedback mechanism to make sure we have clean data, and then using that clean data to make better decisions and hold our value that we're trying to gain, right? So that's in and of itself the first thing. But I think having...
Can I ask this question? Though,
go ahead. Go ahead.
Clean data to me is a little bit of a misnomer, because ultimately you're saying the supplier's got to provide the data here in this format, or it's got to be clean, or the GPO's actually got, that's never going to happen.
No, and I guess that's a good point. I think, but from a health, that's why I say the health system side, taking a little bit of ownership of that and saying, using tools, which we talk about, it's not easy, but you can use technology, AI, to start making sense of that data so it makes sense across all those. I was sure the distributor put a different number on it and all those types of things, starting getting that so I know this item is this item is this item is this item no matter how I look at it. I think that is proper investment from a hospital side of things to start getting. That's what I'm talking about, clean data. Because I agree, you can't clean everybody else's data that's feeding you, but you can start making sense of that data in a way that is a more clear picture, if that makes sense. But then I think the other part is, as we look to link that with quality outcomes, even at the health system level, we can start driving decisions with our physicians more effectively. This really makes a difference. This doesn't make. Looking at that total value picture we've talked about before, like as opposed to just cost, because cost is so many different things than just price. And we're paying a huge cost, and everybody's focused on price. There's a huge cost in the industry that's not price, and we're not looking at that picture.
Well, 100% right. You know, as always, you know, trying to actually improve patient outcomes based on the right equipment, based on not anecdotal evidence that, let's say, that widget actually produced, you know, 5 days recovery down to 2 days recovery. But how do you see that?
Right, exactly. That's exactly right. And then are you seeing it when you think that you are? And I think we're missing at both ends, right? Where we're not investing in things that might actually make that difference because we're worried about the price. When actually the value is there if we were able to look at the full picture. And then there's other things we're investing in thinking it's making that difference and it's actually not. So it's both things are happening right now.
My God, the dashboards are going to be like Star Trek.
Yes.